I was probably not the most self-aware first year medical student. So, the angst about cutting up a human body and that, yeah, I didn't really experience a lot of that. It was it was like a bigger dissection of things that I had dissected before, and I guess I did not experience any spiritual or emotional crisis over that. The difficulty for me, there were four of us. Were four at a table at the time, and in the first week of medical school, one of our table mates dropped out. So there were four, and then there were three, and so there were three of us, and and the one guy on our table was a wonderful person, um, who ended up getting cancer during medical school later on. But at the time, none of that had happened. He was a wonderful person who always came to medical school in a shirt and tie and suits. I mean, he was dressed for the part. He was incredibly professional and kind of intimidating. And then there was me and this other guy who were kind of like the slobs at the table. And I just remember all the stuff them telling you to find, and oh my God, we could never find it. And the guy who wore the ties would be like, just get out of the way, because he wanted to be a surgeon. He was like, and we could never find this stuff. And it was like, it should be right here. Where is this nerve? And so there was sort of in my own way, that was sort of squaring with the idea that the textbooks in medical school no longer are the answers. Textbooks are like guides, but everything does not occur according to the textbooks. And I ran smack into that on the second day of anatomy, when the book said the inguinal ligament should be here and the femoral nerve should come underneath it. And oh my God, we looked and looked and looked for 3 hours and we couldn't find that damn femoral nerve. And it was there, but in Our Lady it was atrophied, and it was a variant. I remember calling Dr. Zagon over. Yes, Dr. Zagon was my teacher too. Calling Dr. Zagon over, where is this? And he found it, and he's like, here it is. And it's there's this business with this structure, and that's when I realized, holy crap, it's not going to look exactly like the textbook. And you know what? Medicine doesn't play out like the textbook, and I have to, we doctors have to confront that again and again and again, that you can't turn your creativity off, and you can't turn your imagination off, because you're going to need it in some of these situations where it's not playing out like the textbook, and you realize, I'm off the map here. I'm going to have to figure out my way forward, and what's that going to be? And for me, that happened for us on the second and third day of gross anatomy.